your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your enhanced at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Sver, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Sver, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prio's Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, anytime to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
What is the vision for the Vendors Arcade? To provide a world-class shopping environment where local goods and services can be provided and experienced by locals and visitors. Why is this redevelopment necessary? The renovations and expansions will revitalize the infrastructure and enhance the shopping experience for vendors, locals, and visitors. Who will be responsible for the Vendors Arcade? The arcade will continue to be operated and managed by the Castries Constituency Council, who will have full responsibility for the rental and maintenance of the space. How will construction of the Vendors Arcade be managed? A phased approach will be employed to minimize disruption to daily operations. After the completion of each phase, vendors will be relocated from the former arcade, and this will continue until completion of the new facility. St Lucia Cruise Port, investing in people.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The
Another great Friday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 18th of July, 2025. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, solo today. It's not Terry Fenelon's day, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Hope you're having a good Friday so far. Hope it has been a wonderful week for you and you're looking forward to a superb, restful, productive, everything weekend that's coming ahead, especially since it's a weekend leading into Carnival. All right? Yeah. Monday and Tuesday, Carnival. So we won't be having a program on Monday and Tuesday. It's a long weekend for many of us. I wouldn't say all of us, but I wish you the best and just remember, folks, to stay safe. Terry Fenelon, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. You know you're always missed. Miguel, why didn't you come in today? Because you know Terry is not going to be on Fridays. I thought of calling you, but I said, oh no, let you be. You probably have a lot on your plate, a lot, planning for, etc., etc. Okay, good afternoon to you, wonderful people on the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group. And, I won't mention your names. Maybe you want to keep it a secret that you're a member of that group. It's, after all, a closed group, limited with 300 plus members. I don't know how you can keep it limited and closed at that point. Some time people were concerned about persons forwarding things from the group to persons outside the group. You'll always find that. Ain't anything you can prevent. And sometimes the people you may most believe are the ones doing it are not the ones doing it. The ones that you think would never do that, they are the ones who might be doing it. So it's not a big deal. It just calls upon you to be circumspect, not just in the Real Issues WhatsApp chat group, but to be circumspect anywhere you are, in any kind of communication, telephone call, SMS, text messaging, social media, these kinds of things. Just be very careful with them. Anything that you don't want to get out there, which would be embarrassing to you, which would be a liability to you, just don't put it. Because once it's out there in cyberspace, you really have no control over it. Good afternoon to you, wonderful people, on the Real Issues Facebook Live as well. We're also on YouTube live streaming. In addition to being regular on the radio station Real FM, 91.3 and 91.5, the frequencies for the North and South respectively. And we also simulcast on NBC Television, Channel 120, on the Flow Cable TV service. Now, what's Cornelia harassing me about so early? Only Terry and Miguel that need greetings wherever they are, with your yellow shirt la. This shirt isn't yellow enough, I must make it more yellow, a deeper yellow, and so on, just pour y briller. Cornelia. I'm not greeting you, especially. And today, you have to call earlier than you do. This business of leaving the call for 5 minutes before the end of the program or waiting until you've heard what everybody else have to say. Do boutsa, kouye bonne, parle banou, share sa ou ne pou share. Uka espere tuota Cornelia pou sa kouye no. Anyway, I don't know your business, my love. Hope you're doing well, you and your family. Your children, I know, all big. The grandchildren doing well, I'm sure. So, look, going into the weekend, you're a Calypsonian. You're somebody who in the entertainment business. So maybe share some of your plans with us. Those that are not too private or anything of that kind. People, sometimes you look at life and you wonder how certain blatant injustices or inequalities can be happening in plain sight, in plain view of everyone. It's easy for people to see, and it's like nothing is being done about it, or if something is being done about it, it's taking forever. Sometimes that's just perception. It may not be so. At times things are being worked on. I's are being dotted, which may seem like a very small task. T's are being crossed. You want to make sure you have all the bases covered. You want to make sure that you have every consideration factored in. You want to make sure that you don't approach things in any slipshod manner, that when you think you are solving a problem or pushing back against some kind of law-breaking and aggression, you're not doing more harm than good, so that when it goes to court, you end up being ridiculed by whether the defense or the prosecution, depending on which side you're on, or the magistrate or judge. They basically rebuke you because You did things in such a sloppy manner that it doesn't hold up. And I'm talking if you were in law enforcement or anything of that kind. Internationally, I cannot help but continue to bring this into my conversation, albeit briefly, from time to time. There's this little mini state in the Middle East called Israel, which is not yet 80 years since its founding. I think this year it's 77 years. It was founded in 1948. Why is it such a law unto itself? I'm hearing about sanctions on Russia. I'm hearing about this on Russia. You mean to tell me I'm not hearing anything about sanctions, and I'm not talking about the Palestinian issue. I've spoken about that. Where the people seem bent and they're doing it in full view in the sight of the world to wipe out those Palestinian people. Now the latest thing is that the remaining ones, you're bringing them together in pig pen-like conditions, concentration camp, the very thing that the surviving Jews in Europe said that they went through at the hands of the Nazis and Adolf Hitler and the concentration camps of Auschwitz and Mauthausen and whatever the names are, that they escaped and they needed a homeland. So in desperation, they fled to the ancient ancestral homeland in the Middle East, that they took over that land and called it Israel, which had not existed for close to 2,000 years. Okay, you all say Hamas attacked you all. And remember, I've told you this thing about, is Hamas the attacking? There is a formula that those Israelis have, that for every one Israeli that is killed in any fight or confrontation or violence with the Palestinians, 50 Palestinians, not Palestinians, Arabs. The Palestinians are just one subset of the Arabs. 50 Arabs must die for every one Israeli life that is lost. And I told you already, this thing that happened year before where Hamas attacked Israel and about 1,300 Israelis, were killed in that Hamas attack. They will not stop until they have killed 65,000 or more. I think they're about 55,000 inching towards 60,000. 65,000 or more Arabs must be killed. And when they could not get the number from the Palestinians alone in Gaza, they went to the West Bank and stirred up some hostilities there. Then they went to Lebanon and attacked, says Hezbollah, they're attacking and so on. Then they went after the Houthis in Yemen and so on. It's Arabs. And you know what's the thing? In the hostilities since then, almost 1,000 Israeli soldiers have died. So if they have to kill 65,000 for those that were killed in October 2023, they have to kill a 50-to-1 ratio for the Israeli soldiers that have died since that time. But let's forget about that. Things in Syria took a dramatic turn with the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad, whose family had been in power for, maybe 50 years or more. His father was the president again by some coup or whatever. The guy fled to Russia. A new regime took over. It was recognized by United States and Europe. They lifted the sanctions on Syria and they say they're going to normalize. You expect now there's going to be some more peace between Israel and its northern neighbor. Israel is attacking Syria, not because Syria has attacked them, but because Syria seems to be repressive towards a minority of people called the Druze, not Jews, D-R-U-Z-E, the Druze. So you want to go inside there and tell Syria, behave yourself, treat the Druze better than that. They are our allies and they're Druze. I mean, what's happening like that? If every country had to attack another because of the way they're treating some set of people in them, what a different place the world would look like. This has been going on forever. Do nations attack other sovereign nations because, you don't want them to ill-treat people and this kind of thing? As far as I knew, many years ago, the Druze were classified as terrorists and so on. There was a Druze organization, I think, that was behind a truck bombing in Lebanon on a U.S. base that killed about 250 U.S. Marines in a truck bomb. I remember names, a certain guy called Walid Jumblat, who was the leader of the Druze organization. His father had been involved in it too and so on, but now they've become top Israeli allies and so on. It was when those remaining Americans, they closed down that base in Lebanon after that devastating attack, that they were being evacuated and on their way back, that the events of October 1983 took place. And because of the humiliation that the Americans had suffered, that they just diverted that force to Grenada. You know, they needed a victory. They needed some face-saving thing. So they claimed that it's Tom Adams and Eugenia and whoever that asked them to go and help in Grenada, and they went and they invaded Grenada. It was part of that same American contingent, you know, returning from Lebanon and pulling out their people, that some of them were just diverted to Grenada. I'm sure many of us don't know the connection. And so right away you know that it's 1983, this Druze thing happened and so on. But you go in and attack, messing up everything in terms of what they say they were going to recognize. And now Donald Trump is coming and saying America did not know of what Israel was doing. They do not support Israel. It's always a talk, you know, we don't agree. And I told Israel, don't attack Iran any further. And I pushed for a ceasefire. But they're doing what they want. And with what they're doing it, with American money and with American weapons. You know, so if there is a chance for peace, Israel just comes at a day or two before America was supposed to meet with Iran to have nuclear negotiations and so on. Israel just decides to go and to bomb Iran and to attack Iran. And America, although they were the ones who were engaging with Iran, they feel that they must come and weigh in and back up and give support to the ally. And so they go and bomb Iran. How are you going to expect to have negotiations again? But I'm just wondering, what is happening to the world? That a tiny country of about 10 million people and so on, which thrives and survives on American assistance and American armaments and so on, that they can do whatever they want and tip the balance of world peace and stability any way they want. The guys are attacking Syria. So now, people like Bashar al-Assad in exile in Russia will be asking themselves, well, okay, I was supposed to have been the problem. I was overthrown. The regime which is supposed to have been been a better chance at peace with them, they're just attacking. You're looking at this in real time, live, to watch those bombs slamming down in buildings, office and residential buildings in the Syrian capital, Damascus, not because Syria has attacked you, not because Syria has threatened you, but because there is some internal conflict. Those countries have so many different, you know, sects and tribes and minorities. Is the Druze here and the Kurds over there and the this over there. You go in and bomb the people's country like that, you know, while you have already been occupying. You have already been occupying a part of their country since a war in 1967. Almost 60 years, you know, you occupying the Golan Heights. You refuse to give it back. And the very same Donald Trump went and said he recognizes the annexation of the Golan Heights. He recognizes the annexation of the West Bank and Jerusalem to be the capital. And now he's president, you know, for a second time. He doesn't know what to do with Israel. Nobody seems to know what to do with Israel. Anyway, it will go where it will go. But I did this so I can segue into a local situation. And when you see, we find that there is problem and pushback from unions and whatever it is, we have to make sure that we do not go stirring up a hornet's nest and creating problems where none exist. Some people have a penchant for doing that, to go and to stir up problems and to create them where none exist. Look at the situation at the Ministry of Infrastructure, people, where a cleaner, somebody right at the bottom of the food chain, you know, somebody who salary-wise is probably earning, I hate to use peanuts because of its association these days, but somebody who on the pay scale is right down there. One of those people who need minimum wage support, as Honorable Philip Joseph Pierre and Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot have fought for and seen become a reality. A cleaner. The classification, I'm sure, is way down there. Grade single digit. Somewhere in the single digit it must be. A cleaner gets fired. Almost we can say summarily, even though there was some semblance, some facade of a hearing or whatever it was. But fired for what reason? Because a permanent secretary claims that she passed and greeted her and the cleaner did not answer. Now, it may well have been, yes, an act of rudeness, whatever it is. But it's one of those things that looks to be so neither here nor there, so minor, so insignificant, a person loses their job for that. And there is a refusal to budge even when the Labor Department says that the person was improperly sacked, that the proper procedure was not followed, that the reasons advanced they do not hold up to scrutiny and so on. There is that defiance to the Labor Commissioner that I do not accept this and we want it to go to, wrongly again, arbitration when it really should go to the minister. And by the way, I wonder whether there is a time lapse that is to be permitted for this matter to go to the minister, Minister Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, who recently ruled in favor of a nursing director at St. Jude, who I think was fired because of some alleged confrontation with another member of staff, of the nursing staff, whatever. And the minister said no. When she looks at this matter, I think the board of St. Jude has to respond. They haven't responded as yet. They have a month or so to respond. Maybe now it's down to 3 weeks or something of that kind. But the minister has ruled on that. And I wonder how long this matter with the cleaner is going to take before it gets to the minister. Whether the minister will find that the permanent secretary was right to fire the lady, or whether she will find that the ruling of the Labor Department is the correct one and it should be complied with. And I would urge, if there are no time limitations staying, you have to wait for how long before the minister can get involved. You know, Minister Dr. Albert Poyot, you know, this is something that needs to be resolved. It needs to be dispensed with. It needs to be disposed of very quickly. And here's why I'm saying so. Apart from the fact of what the Labor Department has said, apart from the fact that this lady has been sent home, and I don't think she has been sent home in any way that courts normally do, that when they have handed down a verdict and a sentence, that if there is an appeal pending, they will say, okay, they will permit, the lawyer can make an application to the court, that the person not be put in custody, not be put in prison, pending the appeal, so they can grant whatever order or bail, whatever it is, say, okay, the person need not go to bail, or the sentence, the fine, whatever, can remain pending until the appeal, whatever is heard. I don't think the lady has that facility to say, okay, let her have her job, or let her have her pay, or whatever it is, until the process is exhausted of the labor minister and arbitration tribunal, whatever it is. I don't think she does. Whatever she has lost as a result of losing a job, she has to survive on that loss. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But you know, I'm bringing this matter up, that a cleaner has lost her job because a permanent secretary said, "Moi do bonjour, et ku pa repond moi." And that alone, you know. There may have been other things before, but you cannot come and collapse and draw in things that were already dispensed with and disposed of before into a present case and say, I've had issues with. I understand there were issues before, where the PS asked the lady to wipe her desk or polish her desk, and the lady, whatever it was, there was some disagreement over that. Not that she refused or whatever, but something over it. I understand there were other issues before. So it isn't like the lady is whistle squeaky clean and so on, in terms of there having been skirmishes with her, although the skirmishes, none of them, to me, rose to the level of dismissing, because if not, you should have dismissed her then. You don't dismiss her. Maybe you're boiling, whatever. Maybe you're one of those parents who say, I let you go with so many things, you know. I didn't touch you, but next time you do something, I'm beating you not just for what you did now, but for all the other things before. That's not the way it operates in employment. That's not the way it operates in public service, where you hold on to things and you're boiling and you're bubbling because, you know, I had asked you to wipe my desk before and you, whatever it was, you gave me chat or you did something, whatever. So, I have it there for you. I have it in for you already. That's not the way it operates. But here's the point. A cleaner loses her job because she allegedly did not answer a greeting from a permanent secretary, but a teacher who has been written to by a permanent secretary, that his involvement in active party politics, replete with all the colors of the yellow or whatever it is of that party on its platform, campaigning, having been named and acknowledged and declared himself the endorsed candidate, that he's still there. We have not heard anything about him getting even a letter of suspension saying we are placing you on suspension pending, the hearing of this thing or the review, whatever. Nothing so. The man is still in full status appointment as a teacher. He's still drawing his pay to everything that I know. He is still recognized as a teacher. He still has his standing. He still has everything intact where being a teacher, a qualified, whatever, graduate teacher, specialist teacher, whatever is there. In other words, he has disregarded a direct communication preceding any action against him. He has defied it and he's still there. I got nothing against Elisha Norbert or anything, I got nothing against him, but how do you equate and balance a cleaner being sent home just like that pour bonjour PS il pa répondre et puis on l'autre teacher ka mette PS et puis Public Service Commissioner défis ou pas ça toucher moi si yo couye zo nom et ben femme fait rien contre moi, coming with all kind of semantics and games about how he's an endorsed candidate. He's not a nominated candidate. What's that going on there? So they have to wait until nomination day, Papsi, before they can tell you anything, before they can do anything. Nomination day, which I think has a minimum of between nomination day and polling day, 7 days or 14 days? Not too sure. I think it's 7 days. That's nomination day. That's when they have to wait. You have been nominated. You have been endorsed by the United Workers' Party and you're on their platform on every occasion. If it's just motivational singer, ou speaker, ou toujours en jaune, ou toujours habillé, ou toujours qu'à campaign, ou toujours qu'à faire tout ces bails ça. But a cleaner whose salary, I am sure, does not closely approximate that of Elisha Norbert, il peut doit bailer. I got to be careful, what messaging we're sending out in this country. I don't even know the cleaner. I got no brief for her. I got no particular sympathy for her. But we have to look at the messaging. We have to look at the optics. We have to look at what is being sent out there. And that is why I referenced it. This seems to be something that's happening in the world. When some do something, it is wrong. When others do something, you don't even bother commenting on it. You don't talk about it because whether it is the people of God or whatever they do is good. And some others, they have status, they have position, they can do. Speaking about the Ministry of Infrastructure, I think there is a company, St Lucians, who are resident overseas. And they want to do a startup. They want to set up some communications business in St. Lucia. I think it's internet service that they want to provide, high-speed internet, or whether it's a complete suite of telecommunications services and so on. That seems to be having a little issue that involves the Ministry of Infrastructure. But I see it's already 12:59. So better we take the break. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We'll be back shortly. Don't you go anywhere and don't you touch your dial of your tuner wherever you are listening to and viewing us.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Sufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Sufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to and staying with The Real Issues. Here on Real FM, NBC Television, we are on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live streaming as well. There is a gentleman in St Lucia who lives somewhere in the diaspora, and he'll tell us a bit more about himself. He is with a company called Sver Communications, Sver Communications, Inc., and so I say good afternoon to Martin Hollingsworth, whose nickname is El Mundo. Nice to have you with us, bro.
Hi, good day. How are you doing, Mr. Shelton? How are you, sir?
Yes, I'm doing okay. How about you? And Sver, your setup and so on?
Yes, well, Sver is a telecommunication company that have been applying for a license in the island of St Lucia. As you know, I'm a St Lucia national.
You're based in Canada, right?
Based in Vancouver.
Okay.
Yeah, Vancouver, BC.
Okay. Yes.
And we're a telecommunication company that have been trying for many years to project into the market because I am a St. Lucian by birth and looking to bring something better when it comes to that industry in St. Lucia. At this moment, we have already acquired the license for fixed public telephone internet services, and we are just awaiting the frequency license in order for us to come out and roll our network and technology in the island. We are a wireless company. We operate in under the 3.5, and also we can operate under the 700 megahertz frequency. And what we do at this moment, we do not enter into property premises. We set up what we call a package for each and every individual customer that would come in and want to get onto our network. So there is no wiring done in your premises. Everything is just wireless. And by us coming into the island, I think we can make a difference because of what we are doing in Canada in the rural areas. So we are hoping after getting our license in July of 2021, we are hoping by this year that we should get our frequency and we would be able to roll out so we can show the country of the island of St Lucia, and also which we are looking to go into the region, what Sver really does and what we can do when it comes to telecommunication.
Okay, so let's just make sure that we are speaking in a manner where I'm understanding what you were saying. You got the license for you to operate in 2021, in July 2021, exactly 4 years ago, right?
Yes, it was approved in 2021. We do have a copy of the license, but like you know, the license, you cannot operate, even if you do have a license signed, you cannot operate without frequency.
All right. So,
and the frequency is what we are awaiting at this moment.
All right. So has the frequency been approved or assigned, or that is where, because I understand there is a situation where whichever body that you dealt with, whether it's NTRC or whatever it is, you'll tell us in a moment, they approved whatever you wanted. And it's just a stage of it getting the signature of the relevant or competent authority to give it effect to it, something of that kind. So just tell us exactly what it is that you got cleared with NTRC recently. And I think it now has to go to the Ministry of Telecommunications, ministry responsible or the minister responsible for final signature. Where exactly are you at in terms of what you need in order to move forward?
Well, as we speak at this moment, we did get communique from the NTRC, which is the body that we have to submit application to, and also the body that we have to liaise with. We cannot liaise directly with ECTEL. Okay. But as we speak at this moment, we have got communique from NTRC that they have approved the frequency and it's now being forwarded to the minister for signing.
Okay,
so we are hoping that the minister can get into this frequency license, which, like they said, it's already been forwarded to the Minister of Telecommunication, and hoping that, before the month end, that the minister can get this license signed, send it back to NTRC, where we can get a copy of the license at hand for us to take the next phase, the next step, by bringing in the technology.
So the minister's signature, you were saying, would put the seal on the frequency allocation. In other words, the frequency which has been approved by ECTEL, it needs the minister's signature, and then ECTEL and so on would take care of everything. That's basically what you say.
Yes, well, that is in the Telecommunication Act. Okay. The final goes to the minister, where the minister will decide. But the approval of the frequency, the assigning of the frequency would come from NTRC and ECTEL.
All right.
So as long as they do the study on the technology we are bringing in, and they find that, yes, that we are entitled for frequency, then they will approve it and then send it over to the minister, which is the final body for signature.
All right. I have some news for you. It's not very good news, but I've done some digging. I brought a little bit of my journalism, days back to bear on this. ECTEL or whoever NTRC has forwarded whatever it is to the minister for his signature, but it has not reached the minister as yet. Okay? And nobody knows for sure where it is, who has it, where it's stuck, but whoever does, it would appear, and I have to say would appear, has not yet forwarded it or passed it or presented it or placed on the desk of the minister for his signature. All right, so it's not the minister holding up the process. Somebody seems to be holding on to this document. Somebody seems to have intercepted it. Somebody seems to be being deliberately or not tardy with passing this on to the minister. And perhaps the chief administrative officer in the ministry, the PS, needs to look into this matter, needs to find out where is this matter, where is the delay, where is the tardiness, where is the holdup, where is the interception, so that this thing can get to the minister for his signature if the NTRC has already approved / recommended it. That's the news that I have for you. And I hope that this program and this interview we are having will lend some legs and some impetus, will light a little fire so that this matter, can move forward for your good, which I'm sure you eagerly anticipate. We've heard a lot of talk in recent years, especially about 5G. Would you be going into that band, or do you need some special approval which is not yet available? What exactly is the 5G that it would bring if in fact you're dealing in that? Can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, well, we look into going, like you said, the 5G is we are not into mobile at this moment. Okay, we need to go into mobile in the future. But what we really want to roll out is what would be the demand when it comes to the internet, which we have learned of what is going on within that sector when it comes to the two companies that are on island. And we want to project into that sector first before we can look into going into the mobile sector. Okay. So by us bringing in internet, which would create a much better environment for the people of St Lucia. Like I said previously, we do operate all over into rural areas in Canada. The Minister in Telecommunication is very pleased with what we are doing in Canada, and we have way back going all the way down to Africa. We're in Africa and some parts of the region. Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic is looking for us to come in. So like I said, again, it's been a long time that we have been making applications for the license, including when the 700 megahertz frequency just came out. We were there before. We did a test run in 2006 to show the minister or the government who were there in that time. We did set up a tower up at Green Parrot Hotel in the early stages when the 700 megahertz frequency was just about to be auctioned in the US, to show them what the technology that we can bring in. But we weren't approved of the license at that time because the 700 megahertz frequency wasn't finalized as yet from ECTEL and from the regional bodies. So you find that in that time we weren't approved, so we agreed on to that we would still stay on and see whether or not we can still project into coming into that market. So we are not new in St. Lucia. We have worked with people like Mr. Perry Mason. I think you may have known him in the time of Ministry of Communications and Works.
Certainly.
So we have been there from a very, very long time, trying to come into that market, into the region. And as much as the other directors and other investors have decided, look, it doesn't make any feasible sense to come in because of the way business is done within the region, I still give them that hope and assurance that we can project into and give us that opportunity to show the region the technology that we have in Canada, where you can sit and just watch your dog maybe run 5 miles away and, without any interference, because our technology, it waves and it can penetrate through the thick vegetation like you see in St. Lucia. So I can say again, just want to come in. We are very patient, and like I said, it's been 4 years now from the date the license has been signed and issued and paid for, and all we are waiting on is frequency. So I hope that the minister and ECTEL or NTRC, as they have said to us, that they have forwarded that document to the ministry, that, like you said, that somebody can try and see where this document is in order for the minister to get it signed and sent back to NTRC for us to have that copy of the license so we can come and provide the service in St. Lucia.
Mr. Hollingsworth, if I were to ask you, I'm not inviting you to badmouth anybody, but what would you say to St. Lucians listening to this program would be the improvements that they would experience, that they would notice, that they would perceive in the suite of services that you are proposing to provide and what currently exists. Can you tell us that the telephone, it will be less expensive, it will be more effective, it will be clearer, it will be, just tell us about the difference that you believe your services will make to the current landscape and what's available.
Well, again, based on what we have submitted to NTRC/ECTEL and telling them of the technology that we are going to bring in St. Lucia, and I've had constant conference calls, Zoom calls with them, explain to them the technology. I don't think to ourselves that they would see this company as a company that's not going to come and make a difference in the island. Our services, what I can say to the people of St. Lucia, will be better, and we a company that will be able to stand by the name that we represent in the telecommunications sector. It will be much cheaper, and the equipment that we are going to be bringing to St. Lucia, where we have heard the complaints of St. Lucians of when there is no power, that they can't even make a telephone call off the line. What we are bringing in the backup modems with 24-hour backup. So even if you don't have electricity to your home, at this moment we do have a backup modem that has a battery into it that can make only land calls. Okay, so it's a better service, and all what we want is the opportunity to come in to prove to the people of St. Lucia that technology has been upgraded and there is better out there for the cries of the people in the island to be what you call a certain stop.
What about the internet bandwidth? I may not be speaking the language well and so on, but in terms of the internet capacity, where we have a problem of internet dropping, all the time. Sometimes you move from one room of a house to the other, and the internet drops.
Yes.
Are you all in any way that you can describe for me?
This is why our internet, the one we provide, you find that it waves. So even if it rains, and you find that it will break down that signal, you find the peak would bring it back up. So before you even realize your internet went down, okay, then it's already running. So this is the kind of technology we bring when it comes to internet and speed. Okay, so it's a 24/7, okay, backup system, and we don't intercept that there would want to be any faults when it comes to the dropping of the internet service, because it is all wireless and it is point to point.
You have made the point more than once about it being entirely wireless. You don't need to come into any homes with conductor clips and to be punching into the walls and doing any wiring. So how is your signal transmission going to take place? Would it be from a central location that you have this great diffuser or propagator or whatever it is called, and it beams to people's houses? How do the households and
Yes.
so on receive that signal if there is no wire involved?
We do drop a small yaki onto your rooftop.
It's a very small
yaki.
Small what?
A yaki is like an antenna.
Okay.
We drop a very small yaki onto your property. Maybe it's going to be about 12 inches, 1 foot tall. And then the signal will be projected to our base sites, where we are looking to put up 5 base stations for the whole island. So it's not something that we are going to put such heavy equipment onto your property, and you can move your modem around how you feel, because like I said again, there is no wiring done, so you can connect it in anywhere of your house, any location of your home, where you wouldn't have to call one of your telecommunication guys to come in and do any wiring from room 1 to room 2. So the connection where we are giving you is a connection as long as you have what you call an outlet switch into your property. You can connect it at any location in your house, and you can have the signal strength all over your property.
So really, is these 2 components, the what you call the yaki, that the small antenna, and the modem? This really is the sum of what people would need or would be
Yes.
issued. All right. Okay.
Yes, that's just it.
All right.
Okay. No wiring done to your premises. So we don't even have to come to your home. Okay, what we do, you come to our offices, you then make an application for the service, We give you that package, you go home to your home, you connect it, we give you the instructions on how to connect it, and then here you go.
All right. Thank you so very much, Mr. Martin El Mundo Hollingsworth of Sver Communications, Inc. We really appreciate you giving us a little preview, a little insight into your plans for St. Lucia, and I hope that whatever the bureaucratic impediments or hold-up that may be affecting the flow of things right now, I'm sorry for the use of the word flow, nothing intended by that, but the progress and the movement of things, that it will get resolved and that you can be well on your way. Okay, appreciate your taking the time.
Thank you very much again for your time, Mr. Sheldon, for calling me.
Okay, so you heard it, folks. Hope it was useful information for you. Now, before we move on to our next commercial break, where after which we will be... Sorry about that, folks. It's just messages that come out when I see them. Some of them, make me laugh, It appears that one of the two unions that were holding out from signing onto the collective agreement of government that almost all other unions, well, not almost all others, yes, because there's still, I think, one holdout, has had a change of heart, has decided that it's gonna sign on, it's gonna join in, it's gonna do what all the others have done, quite sensibly, many people would say. And so, Jaquan, I know that you told me that you've managed to get the video. So let's play, let me just read the little introduction to it. It's amazing, this interview that I was doing there with Martin Hollingsworth of Sver Communications. From the Office of the Prime Minister, that Prime Minister Pierre has been informed that the Police Welfare Association, PWA, has agreed to the terms of a collective agreement with the government negotiating team. Under the terms of the new collective agreement, police officers and members of the PWA will benefit from a 13% wage increase over 2 triennia, from 2022 to 2025 and 2025 to 2028. And that is why those rounds of negotiations were so, we might even say, unique, That is why they showed how the government was not just dealing with the retroactive aspect, but with the forward-looking aspect, not just of the past 3 years, but of the next 3 years, that they collapsed it into one round of negotiations. And I believe that is why other unions like the CSA and so on, they enthusiastically took it up. The holdouts, like I said, were the Police Welfare Association and the National Workers Union. And saying that the National Workers Union was one of 2 holdouts, and given other things that we know or assume or are alleged about the National Workers Union, when I took on that thing about the cleaner being fired at Ministry of Infrastructure, then anybody I was gunning for or aiming for, I heard somebody has word out that I have something against the PS because the PS fired Miguel and Miguel is my friend. So it was like I was taking up cudgels against the PS for Miguel and foolishness. My concern has always been that the government not get drawn into an unnecessary confrontation with the National Workers Union or the Police Welfare Association. And I don't need to go out and elaborate and tell you why. Over something like a cleaner not getting fired because she allegedly did not answer a greeting. And even when the Labor Department has found in favor of the cleaner, the defiance, risking some kind of industrial relations standoff. If the National Workers Union gets handed some casus belli, for confrontation, casus belli, Latin word which means the case or justification for war, The National Workers Union gets handed a casus belli unnecessarily for some confrontation with the government, they probably will jump up and grab it with both hands, especially as we're heading towards another election. Shelton Daniel's concern has always been that this Philip J. Pierre administration, which has been so brilliantly led by the man of that name, which has done so much for St. Lucia, which people are trying all the time to see where they can throw a monkey wrench in the forward march and progress and achievement achievements of this government. Don't get yourself sucked into some kind of confrontation for some pappy show, unnecessary niggling, insignificant small potatoes reason. That has always been my concern. National Workers Union, if it gets something to go to war with the St Lucia Labour Party, they will not be so nice to the government, I'm sure, as they have been nice, it seems, to First National Bank of St Lucia. That's why I said to a lot of people, don't get involved in that. Pas point plaisir moun se vous la peine. Pas vrai corps devant qu'on va vet devant poule. Don't do that. National Workers Union responsible for those workers at First National Bank. There is a problem. Let National Workers Union deal with it. Some people on Facebook, they're ready to go to war. They're ready to take action against. Let National Workers Union deal with it. Because if you see they get a gift, a present, something, a sweet lollipop, a siwo, they'll take it against the government right now. Don't give them that for the sake of a cleaner who did not answer good afternoon. So anyway, Police Welfare Association, it seems, has come around. Let's play the short video clip that accompanies that statement about what they're doing. Go ahead.
I wanted to announce to you this morning that I'm told that the Police Welfare Association have agreed to the terms and the conditions of work, and they will sign the collective agreement. So we have completed and closed negotiations for all the protective services, all the allowances, all the salary increases of 13% for the protective services, bodily, fire service, police. We've closed it, and I'm very pleased that good sense has prevailed. I wanted to announce to you this morning that I'm told that the Police Welfare Association have agreed to the terms and the conditions of work, and they will sign the collective agreement. So we have completed and closed negotiations for all the protective services, all the allowances, all the salary increases of 13% for the protective services, bodily, fire service, police. We've closed it, and I'm very pleased that good sense has prevailed.
I don't know for you, Bravo, 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 Mr. Prime Minister, Government of St. Lucia, Labour Minister, Virginia Albert Poyot, and bravo to Police Welfare Association and a man I'm always putting fire. And it's taken a little while, I don't think the delay was necessary, but bravo and congrats and big up to you, Mr. Cameron Law, and your executive and your membership. And I have no doubt that National Workers Union will follow suit and soon. I have no doubt that they will. That's why I say don't give them any other thing for them to get vexed, for them to not be eating nice, for them to want to go to war over this, and certainly not over a cleaner who did not answer a permanent secretary's greeting. Stop pulling us. Stop koko pude susiwo, Stop koko pude susiwo. Too much for so little. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. Miguel, I'm doing all of that for. What foolishness is that? What pappy show you on? Whoever saying that kind of nonsense. Anyway, Honorable Richard Frederick was back after, I think, a 2-week absence from Can I Help You? And as usual, he and Albert Fridges were in form and on fire. But that isn't what I want to play. I want to play about the Jeremy Street Mall, is it's called? But he'll explain where he did a short live on Can I Help You of Richard Frederick about the development of a plaza, the Jeremy Street Plaza, I think it's called, not a mall. And these are the things we have to look at, the progress. Not about people who are trying to monkey wrench everything, trying to destroy when Martinez ain't work out for them. And Martinez is exposed to be a guy who trying to engage in browbeating and blackmailing in St. Kitts and Nevis, and he's exposed by Terence Drew. His energy petered out and so on. So now Alan Shastney, who was always the person behind Martinez, he can say what he wants. Now he realized Martinez ain't working out, so you have to come and do it himself. So he taking out injunction against the CIP because Alan Shastney is trying to destroy the CIP for 2 reasons. It's within Ernest Hiller's portfolio. We know the vendetta, the grudge, the hate he has towards Ernest Hiller. But secondly, the CIP, this government has utilized it effectively for the country's development. You know, look at how they found CIP money to settle issues at OKU in one fell swoop, $11 to $15 million. How the government has been using that CIP money wisely. Alan Shastley does not want the government of Philip JP and Ernest Hilaire to continue to have access to the advantageous, fiscal contribution of the CIP. So he tries to now injunction to put it on freeze to stop things and so on. This Alan Chastney is a malicious fella, Very, very, very malicious fella who don't like St. Lucia, who don't want St. Lucia. All he wants is for him to have his foot on St. Lucia's head. And once he don't have it, he acting vindictive like anything. Don't ever let this fella fool you. This fella is all about his family, all about his father's rental properties, all about his friends, all about foreigners, all about the Lockerbies and the Mac whatever, Maloney and those people and Sandals writing off money that they owe into Inland Revenue even before the investigation is complete. That's all this fella is about. We are just the means, a stepping stone to him. So let's see what Honorable Richard Frederick, who they're trying to diss and do everything, because they realize the visa thing in there. It's not a factor. They can't use it anymore. He got his visas back. So, you have to try everything. He's a frog. He's a quapo. He's this. He pulled his gun on people. Things that cannot be substantiated, whatever. Not one person has gone to the police, to report anything like that. Let's say the substantial things that Honorable Richard Frederick, we should be concerned and pay attention to him about.
Folks, a quick 30-40 second video to show you our progress in Castries Central as it relates to the Jeremy Street Plaza. Label. We're having 2 barbecue booths right here. 2 barbecue booths. We are tiling the entirety of the area here. Right here. Let me go up that flight of newly done steps. Yes. And this is what you see right here. So yes, folks, we are coming. Sadly, I didn't even realize my flag wasn't proper, but trust me, it will be proper when the time is right. But we are coming.
People, this is a government that don't just care about people to do things for people, This is a government that does things in a manner to not just facilitate people, but to dignify them, And this is coming right after the Anchorage, area. The Anchorage Plaza or spot or whatever. Forgive me, the names, sometimes don't really come because, it's all extemporaneous and so on. This is coming after Anchorage. Now we have in Jeremy Street Plaza. What were they on the ground? People have provisions and people have this, and the place looks run down and derelict and ramshackle and it's all contributing to the slum kind of mentality and whole treatment about it. It's all Richard Frederick, that people say was capitalizing on ghetto connections. This man is consistently trying to pull people out of ghetto situation, trying to create better places for vendors and sellers and people with shops and restaurants and bars and so on, always continuously trying to uplift. That's what he's trying to do all the time. The clearing of the sidewalks. One time people complain about all the tents and the things, making Castries look. He remove it, it's a problem. Look at what he has done with Serenity Park, and he continues to look for development. But it is the setup of this thing and the class and the elegance and the prestige about it. Not making St. Lucians that they don't deserve anything that is, upscale and better off and so on, that all is always a T something, a T village, a T Kai, a T this, a T that, as if we are nothing more than an expendable T punch, for this famous T punch fella to sip upon, that we are just a sip for him, You know, that tea thing with Richard Frederick and the Labour Party, they don't just give, they try to dignify people, to tell them that, look, we value you and we consider you to be worthy of facilities that have some air of class and prestige, you know, that have some premium rating and value about it for you, you know. A tea kai, a tea village, a tea this and a tea that, and it's always a tea something, you know. With the United Workers' Party. That ain't no tea thing there. That is something that has some rating about it. And let me tell you all people, open up your minds, you know, that these are the things you need to be talking about. And when people come and try to distract you with foolishness, point them to such things. Real issues powered by Blue Waters. Let's take our final commercial break, and when we come back, the lines. It's amazing, Terry and there today, and I still went a whole hour before I opened the lines. You know, Terry even better than me at those things, you know. Terry, I need you here more often to keep me in check, you know. But we'll be back shortly.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell V4, Restorer Pharmacy Sufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Sufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
The telephone line for Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters. You can WhatsApp call us on 758, that's the area code, 487-9849, that's 487-9849. And you can call us on the landline, the local landline direct, 4533-911. We have someone waiting already. You're on the air, Real Issues.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, how you doing, bro?
That's all right there, struggling.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
I noticed Shelton was a little bit surprised when he spoke for, an hour without the other comrade there and things. So you have too much information in your head. That's why you're talking over an hour.
I really thought today by half an hour I would be done, you know.
Well, I know. But let me tell you, I noticed in the United States, if we follow it, there is a incipient crackdown on the freedom of information in the United States. And take care, as the fellas going after, what a fella named the comedian Stephen Colbert. If the fortune of St Lucia change and UWB come in power, I say in effect, right? You have to watch yourself if they're going to shut down on you. But let me just tell you something, a few remarks on the number of different things that you've raised in your comments and on the issues which I believe are very relevant for St. Lucians and people to understand. First of all, the issue regarding the cleaner who was fired for apparently not saying good morning, whether the person heard or not, and people, when you get up in the morning and things coming to see you, have to struggle and do, these things have a lot of effect on people. Now, from what I'm hearing and what you have said there, I believe the Labor Department, to me, as an institution of government that's supposed to do and pontificate along these things there, I don't know if I have to use the word, the Labor Department has no balls, institutional balls, to do exactly what's supposed to do. To me also, notwithstanding that aspect of the Labor Department, to me it reflects on the trade union movement on the whole, and the TUF that supposedly is an umbrella organization for all the unions. And that has a lot of issues. What it brings to me, when you said it and think so, when you compare it to the other fella in wherever Miku, where he was, and he's not following the things of the law, these things are very important, and you've really raised and brought to the fore the kind of differences, I would say, or prejudices that exist within the public service, as opposed to people who are the lower ranks and people who are the higher ranks. Okay? But I believe there is probably some gaps and issues in the labor code, to the extent that to provide the Labor Department as the institution of government that's supposed to oversee all these things, what I would say the balls, and some other person would say gumption, okay, if you want to say that too, to really deal with these issues. You see, the Labor Department here talk of one thing, you think a PS in his whole head who has really what you call abuse of power would follow the dictates of the thing. Is the trade union movement has to dig themselves in and do whatever is concerned about us, my brother.
Okay.
That is one thing. I don't want to hold your
program.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Right? The issue of Israel you raised there and whatever is going on there, my brother, that to me is really a shame and atrocity as far as humankind is concerned. And I believe, in my way of thinking and following a lot of things, I retired now, I'm in my house, I do different things in my yard and things so. But when I follow the things, I believe, my brother, there was an undeclared agreement between Donald Trump and the fella in Israel as far as what is happening there. What I believe, the reason why I say that is because when the first thing happened, what Donald Trump said, is to develop Gaza into a real estate thing and a resort and thing. So
honestly,
the fella came back after that, after all the things and the bombings and the children and all these things and the atrocities. And he's still continuing. Them fellas, that is ethnic cleansing, you really calling it. And both Israel and the U.S. are not really members or signatories to the International Court of Justice and them kind of things. So, and the position that probably Donald Trump is taking on places like South Africa. It was South Africa, the country, who brought the thing about Israel and the atrocities that are taking place in the international court. We have to really link these issues to really do so. Most importantly, just give me a little chance. Let me applaud the fella I heard there on the NBC News. What's his name? Aaron Alexander. On his perspectives regarding the way voters should really make their decisions about any election, any decisions they have to make about governance. And the father talked there, and that's what he said there was, to me, deep on fundamentals, right? Why I think it was deep, I believe what he was actually portraying to the public, and I expect to the Rastafari community and things so, is that we really have to really think clearly as a populace going forward when we make our decisions on who has to really govern us, and these are the issues. Because that issue of how we vote and think, one man, one vote, is a fundamental aspect of what we call democracy. But my brother, democracy, which is supposed to help people make decisions, have to be based on truth. You understand? Yes. So when I heard some of the things that are going on here, the lies, the smears, all the kind of innuendos, how you think the average St. Lucian mind can confuse the so when I had a comrade came out there, which I expect he has a listening audience in our society, it's very good. That's what I wanted to say. And thank you very much for the weekend.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, we have someone else on the line. Good afternoon, Brother B.
Good afternoon, Honorable Senator.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing even better now to hear that the police union has come aboard.
Yes.
Bravo. You know, I know the Prime Minister is not a man that will not fighting with anybody to get anything done, you know. And I know that the people he has as negotiators in the negotiating team will with justice. You know, and so I say bravo to the police associations. Shelton, I also want to send a greeting to a friend. I have never met her, but, you know, when people do good for you, always remember them, you know. Tina of Rambali Funeral Service. I do not know this young lady, but on occasions, Shelton, this lady has brought some closure to my family and I, you know, where my family and I were if is concerned. So I just wanted to send that out there. Well done. The other thing, you think Spider is okay? Don't you think somebody should really check on Spider? No, seriously. No. So then I have a concern for my fellow men, my fellow citizens, you know. Because when I hear some things Spider say, I am wondering if Spider is mentally okay. To be attacking the Calypso Association and the writers, Shelton, is it a dangerous president that Spider is setting? You know, talking about organization, every organization in St. Lucia has been infiltrated and controlled by the St. Lucia Labour Party. That's a dangerous president. You know, to make this accusation that people have received money falsely, you know, and this is not a good thing to be saying that publicly. And when he's been put in check by the host of the show, he does not want to back down. He's all over the place. He's confused, as if it's a man that is inebriated. You know, these people must understand what they're doing. They must understand what they are saying and be very careful, because you never know in the long run what is going to happen. But before I go, let me tell the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, God is with you. God is directing every footstep. He has appointed you for a time like this. Stay focused, Prime Minister, as you have been. Do what God has called you to do, to take care of the people of the nation, which you are doing. You are answering his call. Everyone in your cabinet is going along with the call of God with you. Walk steadily, walk steadfastly with your head. Keep it up high. Walk with your head up high. Your shoulders broad. Because the people of St. Lucia are watching, they are understanding, and they know that you are doing them good. God bless you, Mr. Prime Minister. May He walk with you all along your way. Shelton, thank you.
All right.
Have a joyous weekend, St. Lucians. Stay out of trouble. Enjoy your carnival. Please, young people, settle your problems and issues without the gun, without a fight. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Deacon Bernard Haynes. We continue taking your calls. Do we have anyone waiting? Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
How you doing, Brad?
Shelton, I had two experience with a pig yesterday. Whilst I was cutting my nails, a pig came, it took a piece of my nail, so I let it go, it went in the mud, it's my nails.
You were cutting your nails and a pig came and took a piece of your nails?
Yeah, whilst it flew away, the pig took the piece of the nails, my toenail, and it ran in the mud. So I figured, well, that have no value. Then on the second occasion, the pig came and the pig took my diamond ring.
And it didn't take your whole finger?
And no, it took the diamond ring and it went in the mud with the diamond ring.
Okay.
So because of the value, because of the cost of the diamond ring, I went into the mud to retrieve my diamond ring. Shelton, I use that as a metaphor. I find, Shelton, of late that there have been some nasty, some vicious, some evil attacks directed at the Prime Minister, directed at the leader of our country. Now, you have always called upon us, Shelton, on many occasions, that we have to have the Prime Minister back. Now, Shelton, I do not only see the Prime Minister as the leader of the country, I see him as a friend. I see him. I don't know how he see me, but I see him as a friend. And when I hear an apostle from the other side referring to our leader, a man who has conceptualized the youth economy, a man who ensures that he's going to give us St. Jude, a man who is doing lots of good things for our country, a man who is rated and praised and listened to by world leaders, being referred to as a jackass. I have to come out and defend my leader. And as the pastor said earlier on, I want to echo his sentiments. Philip J. Pierre, you are a great man, you are loved by many, and you are hated by few. And the reason why people hate you, Mr. Prime Minister, is because they cannot do what they want. They cannot get the largesse that they want you to get. My brother, I love you, and you are doing a good job for the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Now, I want to go quickly again to something I've been saying to Labour Party and Philip J. Pierre supporters. Focus on and take your cue and your pattern and your modeling from your leader. You see this thing about Police Welfare Association coming around and signing up to the collective agreement? We never know how much of it has to do with the cool, amicable, non-abusive, never speaking abusively or arrogantly, whatever that Philip J. Pierre has about him. That even people who are his opponents who talk, when he meet them, he'll smile at them, he'll laugh, he'll talk nicely and gently with them. You never know what part displays, Gaston Brown in Antigua is a man like that too, He'll go on his radio program and you'll hear him talking like a ton of bricks. Gaston Brown meets you down the road. He might have criticized you a lot. That broad grin on his face. Hey, comrade, everybody's his comrade and so on. He don't hold things personal and get vexed with people. And Philip J. Pierre is the same way. Philip J. Pierre don't get vexed with people and like, I'm not talking to you, I'm not greeting you, I'm not whatever. Take your cue from your leader. This over-combative, abusive way of talking down, of disparaging, we don't need that. We don't need that. When you have right on your side, when you have the fundamentals of logic and reason on your side, you don't need to be abusive and insulting and all of that. It is those who have nothing between the ears. It is those who stupid, who ignorant. They are the ones who need insult and that kind of thing. We have someone on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues. Hello.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
How are you doing?
Well, Armin, let me tell you that you are so right. You are so very right. Because when I listen to the people who disparage the Prime Minister, who try to bring him down and always disrespect and insulting, thinking that they're impacting or affecting him, it's those people who have nothing between their ears. Nothing. And that does not stop the Prime Minister from working for us, for the betterment of this country, for our people. But my proudest moment is to have heard the Prime Minister say that negotiations with the Police Welfare Association have been finalized. It means that Cameron, what's his name again?
Law.
Cameron Law has gotten around and he has recognized that Mr. Pierre is for and about this country and he cares for the police. So they have finalized that agreement. Shelton, don't jump too much on the weekend, okay?
I need that, man.
Be sure.
That'll make
so
me drop.
you're back here in good health on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Has the teachers union spoken, at least to put some light on the issue? And that individual is talking about the situation of Elisha Norbert. You know, we need those bodies, those NGOs, those, trade unions, those civil society organizations and so on. We need them to let their voices be heard when it matters. You have a teacher openly defying. There was no threat in the permanent secretary's letter. There was no menace, whatever, just outlining to you, look, you are in contravention of whatever staff orders, whatever regulation, and so on. The man has come out with all kinds of defiance, but he's still there. He's still there. That is why I felt that the action of that permanent secretary against the cleaner, it cut against the grain of the government's overall tolerance and forbearance. Somebody losing their job because a PS claims they said good afternoon to them and they didn't answer. Another man is openly defying directives and instructions and cautions and so on, from the government through another permanent secretary. Yet he's being shown that kind of forbearance and that kind of tolerance and that kind of patience. Let us be on all fours in terms of the consistency and the evenness of our approach. This outlier severity and so on, I'm saying it cuts across the grain, against the flow, of the forbearance of this government. Now, do we have any other callers on the line? All right, it looks like people have decided that they're wrapping it up. Let me see that. Shelton, when a man can take another human being and feed to pigs, can this person be sane? I don't know who you're referring to, honestly, but a while ago somebody said something about Spider, and then the person said, God is with the Prime Minister. God has to be with Spider too, because I see he's being referred to as the Lord's son. A few of them, I've gone on, and for some reason now, which I haven't been able to really decipher, to be honest, I haven't asked anybody to explain it to me, but there's always seemed to be some allusion or reference to Spider as being Lord's son or something like that. So there must be a feeling that Spider is a godly man, or God is with him. God is with everybody, and the grace of God that brings salvation has appeared to all men, So that means that there is no partiality in terms of the kindness, and as I use the word again, the forbearance of God. So that has to be on Spider as well, and I wish him well. Even though I don't support him politically and so on. By the way, he's always been a guy who's been nice and kind and polite and very civil when it comes to dealing with me and our encounters. Never had an unpleasant encounter with him. So, great, Shelton. The Elisha Norbert issue goes to the heart of our civility. Thank you very much for that message. I think we'll wrap it up for today and for the week on that note. Sorry about it, people on the Facebook Live. I wasn't able to come over and acknowledge some of you, but you're doing a great job. Thank you very much, Jaquan. Do enjoy your weekend, your carnival, and all of that. For The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters, this is Shelton Daniel signing off.
Draw of Friday, 18th July 2025 World Double Daily Grand 15, 16, 20, 22. Big 4, 9, 8, 2, 9. Big for multi-X, 3X. Pick 2, 5, 5. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. One off, 5, 3, 0. Lucky 3, 4, 1, 9. Lucky 3 multi-X, 2X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is